It's been a long day, man. It's been a
Uh,
long day. Moving cameras around. I bumped my big deer, so that was
oh man.
frustrating. I mean, I wasn't too worried about it. Like he just got up out of his bed, hopped off, like took like one hop, and then just like limped, like back
Oh,
into the timber. So I'm not too worried about it. So
could
It's
you have
kind of
caught
like
up to
me
him?
in the morning, just kind of
mhm.
live down.
Limpy.
Yeah.
You didn't have your
Limpy.
bow with you, so you couldn't catch up with him.
I know, and honestly, I wouldn't have been able to shoot him anyways because he's too far away through a bunch of stuff. But I was like, man, I'm out here moving cameras. I should have brought my bow because what are the off chances I get to go like western on a whitetail and go stalk
Yeah.
him or something?
What are the off chances, Troy? What are you
Yeah.
gonna... Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
right. We had something happen the other day that should have never happened in a lifetime.
Well, come on, you can't
I
start with
think it.
that and then.
I'm letting Troy. I'm leaning him in. I'm leaning to the water right now.
Yeah,
You
well, I think it was my father-in-law getting back at me for a season that he's not with me this time. But
Oh boy.
so here we go. Every time I ever went in the woods with him, he passed away at the beginning of this year, and every time I ever went in the woods with him, it didn't matter middle afternoon, like early morning, late it didn't matter. He'd say, "You better be ready. Somebody better be ready. Either you or me. One of us has got to be ready every single time." And Josh and I were walking in. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like I don't know, almost 80 degrees, sun shining, hot.
crazy hot.
And we get off the edge of the road, start walking along the edge of a cornfield, and I don't know, maybe 100, 150 yards in. But the crazy part is, as I'm walking down the edge of the field, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I should probably be ready. Like, I know better. I should probably be ready.
We both knew
So
better, but I was
in
depending
the
on you, man. I
in the
depend on you.
GoPro video that Josh has, you can see me fiddling with my bow. I had my release strapped to my bow, and as I'm walking, I'm like fiddling with it, taking the release off. And sure enough, I got the release off. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, just stop and put your release on, get an arrow ready. Like I'm thinking in my head, and I'm just being too stubborn to just listen to what I should have done. It wasn't, I don't know, 20 yards after I got the release off the bow, and I'm holding it in my hand, and there he is. He stands up out of the corn, this giant buck, and he was probably 10 to 12 yards away from us when he stood up. It was like combat mode. I instinctively just knelt down, started putting my release on as fast as I could, pulled an arrow out of the quiver. No words were spoken, nothing. I just
No
went
words.
down, dropped down to one knee. I come to full draw on the ground, and I hear Josh whisper, "He's about 20 yards. I think he's at 20 yards."
He's right there.
So I stood up real slow, and as I stand up, it's just nothing but briars and more rows and trees. And so I just kind of slowly try and look around, and then there he goes. He starts trotting, and there was a
And
big opening at like 35-ish yards. There was a big opening, so I immediately turned to that opening, and I'm waiting, and he just keeps going. I was like,
just
"Oh my gosh, he
you
was
can see
right there."
you can see the picket fence of Hines doing this all the way. And
It
I was
was
like,
just
I was more of an idiot because I was literally behind Troy and I'm bebopping along with the GoPro, boop boop boop. I'm taking a, we're walking in the sand,
uh
and all of a sudden this thing bounces up, and I stood there. I literally just froze. I didn't even move a muscle. I froze, and I'm like, I'm in the open because I can't do anything. So I'm just standing there frozen, watching all this, and I could see him, and Troy couldn't see him. And I'm like, he's right there. He's 20 yards away, and I don't know what I did. I just froze because I knew I was out of luck. So I just stood there and hoped he got a shot.
yeah.
And John
Now,
had
what
this
have you
shoot out here
learned?
too, right?
Everything everyone tells us we
Listen,
should listen to.
yeah, listen to your elders.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what
Y'all have
happens?
history with them, right?
Well, you know what happens? You get
He's
you
on
get you get
camera,
lazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get lazy. Both Troy and I walked in there and we both knew. And we both were lazy. We thought it's almost 90 degrees. It's the afternoon. Why are we getting ready?
Mhm.
You know?
And
Yeah.
for him to be where he was, there was I mean,
No
no
reason.
logical reason for him to be there at all. 100 to 150 yards right off the road, 10 feet into the cornfield, laying there. I mean,
That's why he's as big as he
why
is.
the heck would he be there? Yeah. I mean,
No one goes there.
This deer will score. I got a great look at him. I have it on film, Troy. I couldn't send it to all you because the file's too big. It's
Uh-huh.
that 5K GoPro, and I tried to send it via Messenger, but I have video of the whole thing, and you can see him bounding off.
nice.
But he's probably going to score one of the cleanest bucks I've ever seen. Everything's perfect, symmetrical on both sides. I think he's 14. It's like
Yeah.
split brows.
Yeah, I think he's 14 points for sure in the trail cam picks. And one of the brows might be 3 and the other 2.
That
Unbelievable.
doesn't happen to us here in Virginia. We
It doesn't
we
happen
walk
to me
in.
either because he just jumps up as I'm walking in and
I was checking my trail camera youth season. Me and my son were out, and I went to go change the batteries in the trail camera, and I'm standing there, and I hear running. I'm like, "Oh crap! Something's coming right towards me." Here comes 2 squirrels barreling at me. They literally stopped 2 yards in front of me, and I don't know who scared each other more. But I was like, "Holy shit! He's gonna hit me!" The squirrel stopped. He was like, "Holy shit! What is that?"
Oh man.
And bounded off. But yeah, this doesn't happen working with deer.
Well,
Not here.
so I got something to bring up because you saw this picture a second ago, Paul. I didn't show you guys yet. I just got my spy point at 2 times a day. It sends me pictures, 8 a.m., 8 p.m., and it just dumped a bunch of pictures to me. Well, I have this one. You probably can't see real well. Well, if I hold it right, you should be able to. So that's just like nothing, just nighttime. Some little something was in there. Like there's a little mineral block somewhere there, that little dark spot. Okay, but then I look
Yeah.
and I get this from this morning. Swear to gosh, look at that dark spot. That's a black bear right there, folks. That's a black bear.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it might be like a
Big
dog or a
raccoon.
turkey or a coon or something. It's big, but it's weird. It's off in the distance, but it's all foggy. You can't see anything. So that was what I was trying
Oh,
to
well.
figure out.
Funny, all my stories on our podcast, Paul, all of them are like something happening to me going wrong, like the raccoon in the barn.
That's why you're a favorite
If you're
on the
with me, you'd
podcast.
enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
guys would all get great laughs. Just
And
ask Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right. I shot a blind window this weekend, so
There you go.
it happens, right?
yeah. You can ask Lee
Oh.
about that. He decided to put a cut in my brand new blind this spring hunting turkey. Remember that,
Oh,
Troy?
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, right through the bottom edge of the window. Shoot.
Reagan, as you know, I have or maybe you don't know, I own an archery shop here in Culpeper, and so we've been crazy busy and just burning the candle at all ends with that and other things. But I purchased Raven R500, the new one that Josh uses all the time. Brand new, shot it 5 times. I go where I hunt here, we got to walk probably half a mile down a ravine like this. So me and my son walk down, walk down, walk down. And remember, once you go down, you got to come back out when you're done. We get to the bottom and I look down at the bow just to make sure everything's there, and the limbs are cracked. Brand new.
Oh my God.
$3,700 crossbow, 5
Wow.
shots in it. I get to the bottom and my son looks at me. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm just like standing there with my jaw on the ground. I'm like, what has just happened? So he looks at me. He's like, "So we're not hunting tonight?" I'm like, "Nope, we're going back up. We're going to go get the 10 point that never breaks and we're going to come back down." So I've been dealing with Raven on and off. Actually, they didn't even get back to me today. So I'm kind of pissed at their customer service. So I'm going public here saying, "You better call me."
Well, it's funny. It's funny you brought the Raven up because you know what? I'm gonna call out Noel a little bit right now. You know what I told Troy? Noel, the first thing he said when he looked back at me after that buck, what I tell him?
Wish I had the Raven.
If
Yeah.
if he'd had the Raven,
If you had a
he'd been
crossbow,
around
it'd been dead
No.
by now.
But
You would have never. The safety's all the way back here by your throat. You would have never got it off.
walk with the safety off. It's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a touchy subject right now. Let's not go there.
Yeah. So Noel, what I was saying to you is, just like the pride wouldn't be there. But I'm saying it from a logistical point of view. You can't get, unless you're walking in completely ready with your compound bow 100% of the time, which is hard for people to do. I'm guessing people don't do that. Raven or any crossbow, for that matter, would have handled that buck instantly, and you'd have had no question.
So what you're doing is you're telling kids it's okay to cheat.
Well, if crossbows are cheating, here we go. There goes the ball
It's
down.
not a
Paul's feet.
crossbow, it's a cross gun. Come on.
But you're opening yourself up here, Josh, for a little bit. So one, you're telling me I walk in with my crossbow cocked when I go with my kids. They use the crossbow. Otherwise, I
Totally
use
different than
compound.
kids.
So no, I'm serious. And I don't keep an arrow in it though. So you still would have to get an arrow out of the quiver,
Well, see, I usually
put it
still,
in there.
but I usually still hunt in if I have a crossbow. If I have a crossbow, I've got the bolt in ready to rock. I'm still hunting in.
Oh,
with
really?
a
Yeah, no.
compound, with a compound, I sit time. to
I
get
took the
lazy.
Troy route
Yeah.
when I got in.
Yeah, I get it.
Throw everything on last minute and just
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to have to. Here's my problem with compound, and you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about. Everybody's bow hunter gonna know what I'm talking about. You get to the tree, then you gotta take all the stuff off to get up the tree that you put on to get to the stand. With a crossbow, you take the bolt out, you pull it up, you're done.
with the bow, the arrows in the
Oh.
quiver. All
You
you
got-
do is take
you-
it out.
yeah,
What are you gonna do?
You got to put the arrow back in the quiver. You usually gotta take your release off. Then you gotta take your rangefinder out of your pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
It's that difficult. I think.
Yeah, it's really not that
I think
difficult.
Paul and
Josh.
I are on the same page. We don't make it near that difficult.
I love you,
That's-
man.
And I'm
but
carrying camera.
it's really not that hard.
That's because you guys hate cross guns.
After I've had 2 high-end crossbows made this year blow up, yeah, I did.
So the limbs, did they break walking?
No. So we took 3 shots with it at the shot just to make sure it was sighted in, so we didn't have to make any adjustments, whatnot. We got back home. We shot at 30 yards to make sure, because with the Raven, 10, 20, 30 is all the same. So just to make sure it was zeroed in out to 30. And then we took another shot before we went. He hit the bullseye twice. My son was shooting it. He's 9. And I didn't even cock it back to go back down. I just left it. I'm like, I'll do it when I get in the stand. It's no big deal. And I looked down and it's just long long splinters on the limbs, on the inside of the limbs.
I work at
So-
our local archery shop in town, and when I'm not working my full-time job, and we get a lot of crossbows that are doing that, and like it's every brand. It's Parker 10 point. It's all of them, and for one, it takes such a long time to get the limbs in, like ordered from the companies. But we were sitting there wondering one day, like, how is this happening? Because all the people that are bringing them in are like, we didn't drop them. We're not doing anything like specifically to make them break, especially the limbs. And I was just thinking they're just under so much like pressure and force. Like they're just easier, more prone to break, I guess. But there's
Absolutely.
a lot, every single kind. Like it's not just one specific brand. We're getting all of them in.
I think when you're pushing the engineering technology, the carbon lamination to the point where they start to get temperature swings, variation. If you leave it cocked and don't decock it, you have that constant stress there. And I know Raven says always decock it, which I do, but I'll admit I forgot one day. I think it was where's that at? Africa. It was not good. I had it cocked and I got left it there for a day, and I thought next day I was like, ooh, I better take that down. And they were okay, but I was really worried about it. I know I've been told to decock those limbs like that.
And I always do. I haven't seen very many, limb issues coming into the shop. A lot of string issues and cable issues consistently. But man, I don't know. You're spending that much money on a product. Like my compound bow, I've got compound bows for years. I've never had a limb issue. Maybe old Bowtech here and there, but that they're known for. But other than that,
Reagan smiling over
Yeah.
yeah,
She just left Bowtech.
Yeah.
good
She
for you.
She was with them for what, almost a decade, right?
Yeah,
Long
about
time.
10 years, and I let him go.
Who'd you
So
go
what do you-
to?
Well, that's a secret.
Ooh, good.
Oh,
That's a secret I don't even know about.
Well,
Oh, actually, I do.
I haven't told anybody.
Oh, okay. I have a hunch.
You have a hunch?
We talked about it a while back, Megan.
Okay.
So there's no secrets on the Bowman podcast.
Yeah.
We're
Okay. You're gonna have to edit that out though.
I heard nothing.
No, it's
All
fine.
right, so
I'm gonna
since-
text your dad right now.
This year is
Yeah.
going to be a great year. So
Good for you.
Still.
Well, congratulations on the mystery bow. Hopefully it's a good one that doesn't start with an O or an M.
Mm.
an O or an M? I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh
I
man, here we go.
We can play Prices Right or something.
Yeah. Are we close?
buy a vowel?
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're gonna we started off with some conversation this week. This is the Bowman podcast coming at you live here. We got the fabulous Reagan Bryan with us here tonight. Thank you for joining us. It's been a long time in the making trying to get you on, so thank you for making some time for us. I know you got a busy schedule. For those of you that don't know her, look her up. She is the huntress. She is everything. She makes releases. She does bow hunting. She does, you name it, she does it. She goes to school full time, and she's just an amazing example for all the young kids, women, adults, everybody out there in the hunting industry. So we're super proud to have you on. And yeah, so thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.
Excellent. So let's bring this back a little bit. So how did you, I know your dad probably had a big influence on your hunting career and what you're doing in life and also your personal life, obviously. But so tell me, like, what's your passion? What got you into this and what keeps you going?
Well, first I would say definitely my dad. He was always a big influence. We would always go hunting when I was younger, probably about 3 or 4 is when he started taking me. And I just loved being there. I didn't even know what was going on at the time, just being up there in tree with him. But I would say it really started to become a passion for me, and I started getting serious with it when I was 10, maybe 11, 10, 11. And it actually started more of like in the schools. So when I was doing it, they had this program called National Archery in the Schools program where they brought bows into your PE class, your gym class, and you would shoot and learn archery, learn the basics, learn all the fun stuff that comes with archery. So that's how I got into it. I would say my first year, I think I was 3rd grade, maybe third or 4th grade. And they were just like, hey, we're doing tryouts. So they made everybody try out just for fun. Everybody in gym, everybody in the whole grade would try out for this program. And well, I wasn't very good. It was a new program for everybody in the whole county, but it was new for everybody. So I made the team. I sucked really bad. Knew nothing about it. I remember coming home and telling my parents, like, hey, I made the archery team. They're like, what? Y'all are shooting bows? And I'm like, yeah.
That's exactly how Cedric started too. He was terrible in the beginning, so don't feel bad.
I still am. I still am.
My first year, because with the school program, camp, they would you guys would practice together. You would have certain tournaments together, like states, nationals, worlds, all these, and you shoot competitively against all these other schools. So my first year did terrible. I believe I probably got probably last place in like the state tournament and everything else following that, but that's fine. I loved it, loved being around it, loved the people. So I kept going with it. I'd say fourth grade, I started getting really serious about it and practice, even got my own bow. And those little things are they're kind of like recurves, honestly. You have no sights, no nothing. You're using your fingers, you're aiming with the arrow or whatever you use to aim. So it was really difficult, but I took it seriously and went on with it. And so I think my fourth grade year, I won the state tournament for Virginia, which was like a huge thing. So that year and the following year, so my fourth grade and fifth grade year, I believe, my dad was like, hey, if you win the state tournament, I will buy you your own compound bow. And I was like, okay. And I was not expecting to, win or do anything like that. It was just a fun thing for me, but I took it seriously, and miraculously enough, I won, and he stuck to his word, and he went and got me it was a Bowtech Eva Shockey, one of the first women's bows that they come out with at the time. And that's kind of what influenced it. So I won the tournament. It was kind of like a little competition, So I won the tournament, and he got me the bow. And then he's like, all right, we're going to practice, and you're going to practice until I feel like you're ready to go bow hunting. And I was like, okay. So I think it probably took about 6 months, maybe, just shooting that compound every day. I was still shooting the school bow too, because I was taking that seriously. Because if you do well in each tournament, you keep progressing up. So like you go to states, if you qualify for that, you go to nationals, worlds, all that. So I was doing that, and I was trying to shoot that compound bow because bow season was coming up really quick. So I was doing that, and I think my first year I was 11 and shooting that compound bow, and my first ever time going hunting with my dad, with me being the shooter. I shot my first deer on film. Nice. He had his little Android at the time, little grainy film. I was 11, and I remember him saying he was filming, and I was about to draw back on this buck that was walking. He's like, it's about 20, 25, 30 yards. And I said, okay. And so I drew back. He's filming it like this. He's shaking. I'm shaking. It was just crazy. But I shot the deer, had this crazy reaction, and he did the thing, and he posted it on social media. And it kind of, it went viral. It went around the world a few times. And that's just kind of the beginning of how I got to where I am today. And it just keeps progressing on from then, when I was really little, and then got serious at 10, 11, and then here I am now.
Great. That's awesome.
We'll have to get that link and post it below,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. I actually met her dad about a week after that. I just reached out to him and said, man, that was awesome. And we've been friends ever since. So
can we somehow put both videos? I'll figure out how to get our screw up the other day on there next to yours and show everybody how we suck.
Yeah.
Because all we have are screw up videos, Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan is 11 years old shooting her first year and does it perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was so young in that video. It's so funny watching it now. But
that's awesome. So
Can
great.
I ask how old are you now? If that happened when you were 11,
I'm 20.
You never
20.
ask a woman how old she is. Come on, Troy.
I was 21, about to turn 21.
Do we get my wife, Troy? She's right here. I can ask her if you want to know.
Yeah.
Smack.
Add to the blooper reel. Just keep on going.
Just add it back in.
Yeah.
After that first competition that you won, did you continue through the school ranks while you were going and doing competitions? How'd you match up against those?
Yep. So I kept on going. At that time, the whole county now, like the whole region in our district, was now having these school archery teams. And it was really, really popular when I was doing it. So it was a lot of kids doing it, a lot of fun. But yes, I kept going through all the matches. I did. So that first year I won states, I won it the following year as well. And then I kept going to, I think I was in, my second year, and I won the states the second time. I went to nationals, which is always held in Louisville, Kentucky. And then that year did well enough to qualify for worlds and ended up getting 8th in the world, I believe, at 5th grade. So that was pretty cool. I think I did it all the way through middle school. And then right when I was about to go from middle school to high school is when I started getting serious with compound competition. So I stopped at 8th grade.
Question for you, Regan. Was it the love of shooting the bow or the love of hunting with the bow, or both that kind of drove you?
Both. It was just so addicting. It was just so much fun. It was so much fun.
So do you still have that same passion, or do you feel like getting stronger or dwindling?
Well, as I've grown up a little bit, definitely it's my love for it's grown. And I feel like that's due to because of, well, for one, how busy I am. I got so much stuff going on. So making time for doing archery, shooting bows, and all that stuff, I find more of a love for it now, even more than I have in the past, because it's not that often I shoot as much as I can, but when I was younger, I was shooting every single day. Of course, I try to do that now, but sometimes it's a little hard, when you're working and doing school and you got your other stuff. So I find it so much more enjoyable now when I actually have, the time to do it and put into it. So it's good.
So you are a bona fide hustler. You go to school, you work full time, you're in every part of the business. So like for someone watching you right now out there, on YouTube or wherever this may go, what would you say to them as balance? What keeps you going? How do you juggle everything you do? And we'll get into what you do here in a minute, but I think it's important to kind of understand the mental aptitude that you have to keep all this going. Where does that fall for you?
Well, I will say I kind of figured out a balance pretty early on, because when I was in middle school and I was shooting, these school competitions, these school competitions were just such a huge thing, and it was getting very competitive and very popular. So I think there was a point in time where I was, I guess you could say, getting burnt out. So, looking back on it now, I realized that I was getting burnt out, and, I've taken breaks, I've revisited some things, done things differently, but you have to have a balance, especially if you have a kind of a lifestyle like I do. But I really don't know how I do it. I just know that I know what my limits are, and I know what my limits are. And if I ever feel, like my schedule's too booked, or, I'm doing more of something else than I should be doing, something different, then I'll try to fix that a little bit. But it's a lot of balance, a lot of, changing things around the schedule to make things work. But you just, for archery and bow hunting and everything in general, it's just me finding time and absolutely enjoying every minute of it. So
Awesome.
Hey, Reagan, I got something too. Also, you're still riding dirt bikes, and you just got recently engaged, correct?
yeah, a lot
So
going on.
she's got everything going on.
Nice. I was going to ask about that ring on your finger.
Yes.
Who's the lucky man?
Oh, his name's Blake.
Do I need
He's
to, I'm from New York, and do you need any? Is he a good man? Do I need to like?
he's
Here
Okay,
comes fall.
I don't need to call anybody, do I?
no,
Okay, well, if you ever need anything, just let me know. Okay.
I'll let
He kills some
Okay,
pretty
continue.
good deer too. So
Paul
she's
has
always
people.
Josh, don't talk about my people.
And he is deadly with 4 to 5 arrows, I'm telling you.
I say the only issue we'll ever have is if we're hunting together, and it's like, okay, who's gonna shoot the deer? That's gonna be our issue, but it's fine.
Blake got a good deer last year, right?
Yeah.
Was that the year before?
2 seasons ago, he got 2 really nice ones. So
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. So let's get into a little bit about what are all these jobs and professions that you're doing? What's your career path?
So my full-time career path, I work at a fire department in our county, also running with rescue. That's my full-time job. I'm also going to school to be a paramedic, so just furthering my scope of practice with all that stuff. So I've been doing the fire stuff for about almost 5 years now, but career I just started at the first of this year. So, and I can pretty comfortably say I'd probably retire doing this. I love it so much. And it's such a great schedule too, with everything else I got going on, because we work 24 hours on and then 72 hours off. So I have 3 days in between to do all the other stuff that I do.
Which shaking his head.
Yeah.
I'm restraining. I am restraining.
But if
Say a fireman
So
is
much
the
love
only,
in the house for the.
He's restraining so much he's frozen.
the
Yeah.
only job in the world where it's the only job in the world you sleep until you're hungry and then you eat until you're tired.
yeah, but if you're like me, the schedule sounds great, but I pack it full of stuff. I work a bunch of overtime because, help's always needed. But so that's my full-time gig. Love that. I do school for 2 days a week now, medic school. Love that. That's a 2-year program. So I'm working through that right now. I've also dipped into, I'm working at our local bow shop whenever I can, bow technician, work on bows, teach people, especially like working with little kids. They're always great, especially the ones that are in the schools program, trying to learn just how I learned how to shoot a bow. So it's really great. I worked at True Ball, making all those releases, sights, scopes, everything, you name it. So really big into all the archery stuff as well. And then I guess you could say social media too, do a lot with that. My dad and I like to dip into the video stuff and the pictures and everything like that. We're still kind of new at it, but we're still learning and trying to get everything.
The NASP in schools program, I'm so glad that things are going back on the right road with that, because we had it at our school. I actually started it at Loudonville High School when I was there, the National Archery in Schools program, and it is fantastic for getting kids into archery.
Yeah, they didn't have that where I grew up.
No,
I've
me
never heard of
neither.
it before.
Yeah, it's been.
We lost it in the past 5 years here in Culpeper. Trying to get something back going and go from there. But the 4-H is big around here. So the 4-H does a bunch of, they do instinctive, recurve, compounds, skeet, trap, long range shooting. So they do competitions for all that. But yeah, I would love to hook back up to the school, specifically through the shop, and get, people going on that. But Reagan will jump back on here in a couple minutes, I'm sure. She had some technical difficulties. We're used to it. Cedric does it all the time. So we'll just fill in here for a little bit while we wait.
I'm sure it's hard on you, said today.
Hey, it's okay. Somebody's got to be.
Well, Lee's not here, so I can't,
Yeah.
so I can't pick
Yeah.
on him. Josh is still kind of under the weather, so that's just not fair.
I'll go ahead. I go ahead.
Troy's all smiley today, so I don't know what's up with Troy. He's he's either hiding something or his wife's actually nice to him now or something. I don't know what's going on.
Reagan says she's trying to get back in right now.
Yeah, I see her coming back on.
No, I told you I'm excited for it. It's hot weather here the next 3 days, but I'm pumped for this coming weekend. I think it's gonna be, I think possibly Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday I think are gonna be good hunting here.
Wait.
Cold fronts on the way. Cold fronts on the way, baby.
Yeah, Reagan's back.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
You're good. We were ragging on Cedric while you were gone because usually it's him that it happens to. All right, so we were talking about True Ball. You were working with True Ball for a while. Are you still doing that or no longer?
Not as much right now, no longer. I'd say probably the last time I worked with them was at one of the ASA programs in their trucks. They bring their trailers and all. Everybody brings their works on stuff there. But no, I'm not really doing that anymore. But always welcome in there. Love the people there. They're great. So
Oh, great. That's awesome. So touching in on the social media part a little bit with you, and I know you guys are dabbling into that. By dabble, we mean you're pretty great at it. So how has that influenced your career? Has it skyrocketed it, or was that the jumping platform for you? Obviously, the video of you shooting that buck and your reaction was kind of the catalyst for all that. But has everything just kind of taken off from there on the social aspect, or has it been, we like to just get down to what reality is for people watching. So like tell everyone a little bit about what goes into it, like, or is it just like I just take some pictures and it's kind of natural? And some people have that skill, it's like, Cedric and Josie, when they take video and they take pictures, it's natural to them. Like, they do a great job. And some people it just happens. Like me, I got to work with it, it takes forever. So how has that kind of launched you in that direction that you're going?
Well, I will say definitely the first ever video my dad posted with his grainy little vertical recording viral. We obviously weren't expecting that to happen, but it did. So pretty much immediately after that, like the whole social media thing just came about for me. So that's when we would make public, Facebook, YouTube, and all this and that. My dad was like, "Oh, we're gonna start filming all the hunts and filming all this and that. Let's take some pictures and do all this." Well, I'd say in the beginning it was kind of hard because we didn't really know what we were supposed to do, because everybody, we want more videos, post your hunts and all this and that. And so I got a lot of my influence from other huntresses, I would say, and like what they post, during their hunting season and what they do. And I'd say it was really hard because it would be like, okay, now go stand over by that buck rub over there and let's take a picture and like, oh, post it. But it was a little harder at the beginning. It just kind of came naturally. So I would say definitely now it's pretty natural. So now we're just, the camera is such a normal thing for us, pretty much just my dad and I, it's just us doing that. So now we film everything. We get the good stuff, the bad stuff, the funny stuff. We don't cut any of it out. It's just the camera's always there and it's kind of like another person now. So it's really easy. It comes naturally. But I remember it was really hard trying to film like product videos when I was younger because I used to like stick to a script and like, if you mess up, you got to start over again. It was really hard, but now I think it's definitely come more naturally the longer I've been doing it. So
I think the professionals of the world have made, I don't want to say bloopers, but more natural talking and non-scripted work more popular out there. Steve Rinella's great at it, and Meat Eater, like he's just like, shit, well, this, blah, 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 and it comes out amazing. So that's definitely helped out there. But yeah, it's not easy. I mean, and the reason I'm pointing to this is, everyone sees us and everybody else and yourself on social media, and it's hard. It's like sometimes you got to take an extra hour to go into the tree stand to get film and get footage and get set up and whatnot, and let alone if you're doing it yourself, it's even longer. So that's it is almost like a full-time job. So adding that onto, hey, let's go hunting tonight, and it turns into a fiesta, it's kind of difficult. So kudos to you and your dad for doing that. And how old is your dad? He's got to be what, 50s?
51, 52, one of those two.
Okay.
50.
We should have had him
52.
on with you. He could have told us some funny stories from when you were a child, flinging all those arrows everywhere and all that.
They're awesome together. They're a lot of fun to hang around with too. So.
I'll get his information from Noel, and we'll get some childhood videos of you, and we'll post it in here as bloopers. We'll set you up a little bit.
He just
No, I'm
texted
joking.
me a minute ago, so take care of that real quick.
I have a question for you, Regan. I know you guys, since you do a lot of filming, what equipment do you guys use and why?
So my dad is pretty much the camera guy, but I will say we normally carry 2, maybe sometimes even 3 cameras. I personally like the GoPros a whole lot. So we have he has a big camera. I couldn't even tell you what it is. It's got the whole handles, the screen. I think it's a Sony of some
Sony or something like that.
Yeah, probably AXI or something. Yeah.
I don't know the numbers of that, but that's his big camera. That big camera. We also found our new favorite thing, which is the GoPro 360 Max. So it films everything. It films in 2 180 cameras, and then once you put it into, it stitches it together into a 360 view. So you get to see everything, so you're not missing everything. So I like to screw.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's cool. Hey,
they're pretty cool.
Josh, remember I told you I sent you the picture that her and her dad did with that broadhead coming right at the
I remember
camera? It was from that camera.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait. Josh, you're telling me you knew about this, and we went all the way to Newfoundland, and we didn't have a 360.
Can I just back up? Well, let's back up.
No.
Let's take this 3 steps
Sorry,
back.
Reagan. Hold for a
second. No, Reagan. This is important because the first day I was with Paul. Let's tell you a little story, Reagan. The first morning I'm with Paul, there's a forecasted thunderstorm. It's going to hammer at 9 a.m.
Here
right?
we go again.
It's already Newfoundland. It's already cold, nasty, dreary, and rainy and windy, and who knows what's going to happen with the weather. We have Cedric's older camera, Reagan, okay? And I asked Paul, I had my new GoPro and Cedric's camera, okay? I said, Cedric's camera is bigger. It's kind of heavy. It seems pretty expensive. I'm probably going to screw it up. Should I not take it the first morning? Because it's going to thunderstorm like crazy. And I know I have a rain poncho thing. And Paul said what?
First of all, I said, I don't ever shoot anything on the first day.
No,
back up.
You said
the GoPro.
No, back up. What did you say? You said it's Cedric's camera. I don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's probably what I told him.
But I also preface this, Reagan. Hold on, it's important. I also told Cedric before we went, if I screw up your camera, I will pay for it.
That is also true.
Yeah, but Cedric didn't give you his $10,000 camera either.
Yeah, he didn't give me the $5,000 camera that his wife uses for weddings to make a living. He gave me the old school Canon that I was like, hey, when I was a wedding photographer, I used to use this thing. This is awesome. I know
it.
Yeah. So I'm standing there anyway, the GoPro, right? My GoPro and the little flex stick, right? And I'm chasing Paul after this giant bull moose, and I'm trying to stay parallel with him to range also with my right.
We all heard the story.
No, she did.
There's a 360.
This is important, Paul.
Hero? Really? This is a true thing.
Awesome. I mean, that picture that Noel was.
I've never seen it.
With the halo.
It's very cool.
I like it because it's so user friendly, because it's just, you put it on all the film, you put it in the GoPro app, and it automatically stitches those 2 films together. So you get everything in front of you. You get your face. Like, all you have to do, it's so easy because you can.
So does it give you 2 separate images, like when you upload it, or
when you upload it, it's automatically stitched together in 360. So how you view everything behind you and in front of you is you're literally just moving the screen around. You're moving your face finger around the screen and moving the camera where you want to see, and it
Cool.
edit. So that's why I like it, because when it comes to like the computer editing and stuff, that's kind of my weakness. So my dad likes to do all that stuff with the big camera, but with the GoPro 360 Max, I believe it is, just put it in the app and you can literally make any kind of little snippet video that's so cool. And you can even pull off those cool pictures like with the halo knock out of the tree. That was, I mean, it's so easy to use and so cool because you get everything. You don't miss anything. You can get your shot in front of you, and then you can like have it pan over to you and your reaction all in one video just by one camera. So
I know you're searching for it right now. Just
I
send the
am.
invoice to Josh. Send the invoice to
we
Josh.
we need
we need
I
one
mean,
of those,
we need some
man.
sponsors is what we need.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
That'd
we
be a
can
great
write that
thing.
off.
So it's a special GoPro camera you buy. Is that correct?
it's a GoPro 360 Max, I believe.
Cedric's looking it up. I see it in his face.
I've got to play with them a little bit. They're pretty fun.
Mhm.
Have
Paul,
somebody
I'll
to
send
help.
you some videos that they've sent me. That way you can
Yeah,
see
that'd be
what they're
great.
like.
I want to check it out.
Mhm.
I made this walking stick for my GoPro. My dad and my son make walking sticks and they sell them in my shop. And they're pretty awesome. So I did a screw mount on the top and I put the GoPro on top of the walking stick. So when you're walking, you can do it. But if I had a 360, then I can see everything.
Oh,
I didn't know
that's
about
yeah.
it.
I had the films I did. I had the 360 on a really, really long stick actually, and I shoved it in the back of my backpack walking to this tree stand. So the camera was sitting up right here above me, getting everything. So that was actually a cool video. I forget where I put it at, but it was a cool video because it was just getting everything, and you could move down the camera to see me and out everything behind me, in front of me. So it was really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
And
your
That's
turkey,
awesome.
your turkey hunt too was awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
very
know.
cool.
I gotta look at that. Troy, what's the
10 out of 10.
MSRP on that thing?
Well, $499.99.
That's only
Well,
$100 more
The
than the new
camera
one.
itself and the accessories is about 600.
Oh,
What's
Yeah.
the
She's right
pocket
on
change for
this.
Paul.
so
Three,
we don't
three cameras in one. It's
what's
got-
the eBay price on that so we can get
Oh,
a
I
little
don't
cheaper?
know. No, it looks pretty awesome though. Definitely.
Yes. See Noel over there, Mr. Moneybags. He'll send us one as a gift.
I like it.
Look, he's
It's-
smiling.
I need to get one first myself. Come on, man.
10 out of 10.
We could see that window deflection from all directions then.
Yes. You won't miss a thing.
That's all
It's
right.
probably-
We'll post it too.
We've all done it. We've all done it. Well, that is amazing. Well, that is amazing. So let's talk a little bit about product wise. Obviously, we said earlier you were with Bowtech for 10 years. How did that kind of come about? Was it because of that original video and your growth behind that sponsored that? Or, tell me a little bit about that, because people are always reaching out going, oh, because we work with Prime and they sponsor my shop and a bunch of stuff. So, we're constantly talking to them about next steps and what that looks like. People are reaching out like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? So how did that kind of evolve for you? I know it's different in every scenario. And obviously, if some things are confidential, then leave them out.
Right. So definitely that first video helped as far as like growth. So it reached a lot of people, I would say, but that's not the initial thing that drove Bowtech to contact me. I guess so after that first bow kill that I had and posted, I went bow hunting with my dad the following weekend, shot another buck, an even bigger buck. And then the third weekend in a row, I shot another buck, a bigger buck. So 3 bucks
Jesus.
in 3 wins. It was the best season I've ever had to this date. But it was all of that. So 3 weekends, 3 bucks, progressively bigger each time, better video each time. We started to upload the 2 after that one, the first one, and it kept reaching more and more people. And I think initially that's when Bowtech reached me, wanting to get to know me and, hopefully talk about some of the things and some of the future with the bows, because they saw that I was having success with their first ever marketed women's bow, a brand new bow at the time. So I figured that looking back on it now, that's probably a reason why they wanted to partner with me, because I had great success with the bow at only 11 years old. So it's really a all universal bow. So kids can shoot it, women can shoot it, grown women, anybody can shoot it.
Yeah.
But the first 3 videos definitely is what got me started for sure with
Great.
Bowtech. And
And at that
everybody-
time, you said you were like 11 years old, right?
Yep.
So how, as an 11-year-old, how did those conversations with these big companies go? Obviously, your parents were involved or your dad was involved with you. So how did, just talk to us a little bit about, because that's a big undertaking for someone at that age to go through sponsorship and talking to these big companies and basically living the dream that 30, 40, 50-year-old people can't even do sometimes. So let's fulfill some of their dreams. Let's talk about that a little bit. How was that?
Well, definitely it was overwhelming,
I'm
especially not
sure.
any experience, with that. Of course, I had my dad and my mom with me through the entire thing. So really my decisions and like, talking with these companies was supervised. My dad especially was there to help me, like, hey dad, I don't know what this means. I don't know what to say. Like, what are they trying to say? And my dad would help. So it was definitely overwhelming because I was so young. I didn't really know much about anything then. I was still new to archery, I would say. But thankfully everybody in the industry that would come in contact with me for, partnerships or anything like that. Yes, I had my dad with me, but everybody in the industry was so good to me. And like, nobody tried to, take advantage of me or anything like that. Everybody was, hey, this girl, she's young, she's an awesome shooter, she's doing all this and that. Everybody was so great to me and never let me not go, feel like I was stupid or anything like that. So everything was very well done, very well said. Everybody I talked to was great. Everybody was, I don't know. I mean, it was overwhelming because I was still new to everything. But as far as that, the relationships and friendships and all these companies that I've spoken with and talked to and been with have been great. I mean, and still to this day, I find some things to be overwhelming, with certain companies and stuff. But especially when I was younger, I'd say it was overwhelming. But all in all, it was a great experience. Everybody was great to me, especially when I was that young too.
Awesome. Now, how has that evolved to today? So obviously said earlier that you're making some changes. So how did that evolution come about? And, what does the future hold for your team?
Right. So there's no doubt. I've been doing this for 10 years, almost 11 years. As I grow, other companies grow too. So you really get, especially when you've been with the company for so long, you get to see, who comes and goes and how the company changes and grows. So from then till now, I guess it's just a growth thing. I mean, you get to, once you visit the whole world of archery and experience things and experiment things as well. Like you get to find out what you like, what you love, what you don't like, and what you hate. So it's really just a growth thing. I mean, I found it easy to, well, personally, I shoot what I believe in. I all the products I use are things
Amen
that
to that.
yeah, everything that I, products, everything that I shoot is stuff that I believe in and they have proven results. So, I've been with companies and had to say goodbye to companies, all on good notes too, good terms. I mean, nothing against certain companies, but it's just part of the industry and how you grow through it and how a company grows and how they, everybody has their fallbacks and there's nothing wrong with that as well. But I'd say it's just a growth thing. But me personally, I found it easy to, manage everything because for me it's simple. It's just I shoot what I believe in and they have proven results for me. So
And I think
yep.
we should definitely magnify that. I mean, I stand by that in everything that I do. Is you see all these people, especially owning a shop, and I'm sure you've seen it and working in the shop as well. All these people come in and they're like, I want the Matthews because I saw it on this, or I want, this site because I saw it on here and this person shoots it. I'm like, well, have you ever shot it? Can you shoot it? Like, does it feel good to you? Like, does it work for you? Those kind of things. So like I'm a huge advocate of like go out there, try a bunch of things, make sure it's right for you. And
Exactly.
you got to have confidence in it. And it might not be that Matthews or that Hoyt that's on TV or a social influencer that shoots. It might be something else. And, I know
Right.
people that they still shoot their Mission ballistic or they still shoot their, whatever, their PSC or whatever from Cabela's because they shoot it well and it works for them. Like, great. That's
Yep.
awesome. Like, we got to really stop shaming people out there for that kind of stuff and, really understand that it's a industry of choices and all these companies have done this out there because they offer something different. Just just like cars and everything else, or clothing or anything like that. Like, you have options and you have the style that you believe in. The only reason that we shoot prime, and everyone on here can attest, I've given them options to shoot whatever they want on here. And then we've all chosen what we shoot because we all shot them and we believe in them. And we've shot other brands as well. But who's to say that next year something changes, and something better comes along, or an opportunity comes along and it's a product that we believe in? Then, you got to understand that that's just kind of the way it goes. Don't just chase that big thing, shiny object that you see on TV. That has gotten a lot of people in trouble. So let's stay away from that.
Seen a lot of that working at the bow shop, but
Oh yeah.
we
Oh
just
yeah.
try everything and see what you like best. So,
And I know she does that too, because even with, when with the knocks that she shoots now, she obviously, she shoots our knocks, but I didn't just give her some and she said, okay, I'm going to do this. She wanted to shoot them first. Obviously we gave her some. She was with Knockout before, and it was a blessing because we ended up buying Knockout. And I said, hey, look, you can come over here now, and so it worked out good. And she liked the knocks and ended up shooting them, and it worked out good. But also with broadheads, she's asked my opinion on broadheads, and just like with triple point, she wasn't going to say, hey, I want to be with triple point until she shot them and liked them.
Yep.
Obviously she does, so she's good about that.
A lot of deer going down this past weekend. I was blown away how many deer were shot this past weekend.
I know.
So as your season, well, obviously you're in Virginia with me, but the seasons are different throughout Virginia. You start Saturday as well?
Yep, Saturday. I had to take
Yep.
off work. First ever day off work for both
Oh
seasons.
boy.
Work, and I said, well, and I have great bosses. My captain, actually, he's a big hunter himself. So I was like, hey, Cap, I'm scheduled to work. I haven't taken a day off since I've been here. Got some, PTO built up. Can I use it? He's like, oh yeah, sure.
So let's circle around to, obviously recently engaged. So congratulations once again on that. So is he, you said he got a couple bucks a couple years ago that were pretty nice. So is he involved in this endeavor with you as well? Or is it still a, daddy daughter adventure?
It's still kind of a daddy daughter thing. Of course, my fiance Blake, he's a big hunter himself. He's still learning just as well as everybody, and I'm learning. But he's a very, very good hunter. Let's see, 2 years ago was pretty much his best year. He's always hunted, growing up and everything, bow, rifle, everything, you name it. So I'd say he's gotten more into it ever since we've been together. We've been together for 3 years, and it's a fun thing that we get to do together. I'd say he's getting more serious about it. Like, he's been gotten a saddle and all this and that for this year. He's going to try out the saddle hunting and all this and that. Oh yeah, all that good stuff. So he's getting into it. But as far as like the film and stuff, we're not quite doing that together yet. We would like to, but he's getting really, really serious about it. So I'm hoping that him and I could have, at some point worked together with like film and stuff and doing all that together. But like I said before, it'd probably be one of those things where it's like, all right, this big buck walks out in front of us and we're going to be fighting, like, who's going to shoot it? But
That's why you draw straws before you go into the stand.
yeah.
Flip the old coin.
He's great. He's great.
That's awesome. Well, don't let him steal your thunder. So keep him in the dark until you get married or something, and let him wait. This is your show. So, but awesome. That's pretty cool. So
If you need a photographer, we'll fly out there.
I can't even get him to come out to
just-
my house to shoot. Or
He just
whatnot,
walked in.
so
That's why I had to say that.
I should kick your ass. Like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of women kicking someone's ass, Troy posted that video of him and his wife the other day, and I was like, Troy, you're in trouble. She's gonna beat you. She is ripped. Oh, you must
I'm
be in the
good.
basement. You must be in the basement.
I'm tougher than I look. I run fast too.
Yeah, I don't. I'm slow and pudgy, so I don't run very fast.
She's got her hands full with the 3 kids, so by the time it comes to me, she just ignores me.
Oh boy. So Noel, how'd this weekend go? I know obviously you got that great shot on that doe, and then we had a little window mishap, but just doe patrol this weekend?
Yeah, that's all it was. This weekend it was so hot, man. Just if it wasn't for all of our buddies getting together, I just probably wouldn't even have gone. But
We haven't gotten any rain down there yet?
yeah, we got some last week and the week before. So it's cooled off
Good.
some. I mean, it was, highs in the low 90s where it had been, 104 to 107. So
Wow.
so it's definitely definitely better. And we got a cool front moving in right now, so it's supposed to be in the 60s this coming weekend, which would be great for us.
Nice.
Good deal.
Excellent.
I won't be hunting this coming weekend, but I will the following.
Okay,
Hopefully
cool.
it sticks around.
Great. Cedric, have you figured out your vacation time, what you're gonna do? You're supposed to go antelope hunting and then
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that whole thing kind of fell through, and I was thinking about trying to make a trip to Ohio, and it just wasn't gonna work out. It was just too much of a drive to have, hunt 2 or 3 days and flip right back around and drive, 10 hours back home. So I'm really just trying to use this couple of days to get ready for this weekend. So usually, because my in-laws live out in Ohio, so usually we get the front that you guys get like a day or two later. So we have like Thursday, we've got a serious cold front moving in that's supposed to last through the weekend. I mean, we've been in like the mid 80s here, and it's going to get down to like the mid to low 60s. And so I've really just been trying to use, like today I went and moved a bunch of cameras around trying to find, stickers and just trying to figure out where he's been at and everything. Cameras have been blowing up right now. So I was a little nervous whenever I bumped him, and I hung this camera right on a fence line on a trail. And I was a little nervous that I kind of messed it up a little bit, but I've had around it. That's good. But yeah, so I'm just using these days to try to get him dialed in a little bit more and try to get him killed, man. So, but Missouri did this stupid thing, and Missouri Department of Conservation is probably the worst in the United States. Like, I'm just gonna flat out say it. Like, they are god awful. They're horrible. Like, legitimately, I think idiots are running their department. They are. Yeah. I mean, you ask anybody that lives in Missouri, we get so tired of MDC. And like they thought it'd be a smart idea because of CWD, and the reasoning is just what makes me so mad. Because of CWD, they want more does killed. And so they opened an antlerless only firearm portion October 6th through like the 8th, and which is getting ready to come up. And so
God.
Wow.
Yeah, so like you can't
right before the run. Like
Wow.
yeah, like
Jesus.
it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like I have no idea. Like it's so dumb. Like our MDC officers here, like they'll go out. I don't know exactly when, like they'll go out at like, because they're so worried about CWD. And don't get me wrong, like first I believe in EHD. I don't believe in CWD, but whatever, that's a whole nother conversation. But like they go out at midnight and just hammer those with like night vision. It's just because they're so worried about, I guess, population control or whatever. But I'm just I honestly forgot about that antlerless portion until today, and it's got me just all free because like I said, that cold front moves in on Thursday. That's 5th. So on Friday, when it's in full effect, is that firearm. And you cannot tell me that there isn't some dude out there that's going to stick to the whole antlerless thing if he's out there with a rifle and the giant comes out. You know what I mean? So it just irritates me. So, but
and it's
regardless,
so
I'm just trying to stay
messed up.
positive and just.
New York State had CWD broken out in the Hudson Valley and north, and supposedly, and they eradicated it. They did a whole, kill off of that herd. And now there's no cases of CWD in New York. So there's been a couple on Long Island just by like roadkill deer and stuff like that. And then they'll go and they'll take out a small population or whatnot. So it's even like here, they took away certain restrictions here in Virginia because of CWD. And it's just like I've said in the podcast a million times before, and I don't want to go down the political rabbit hole, but once we lose something in hunting, we don't get it back. It never comes back. So, it's just going to be one of those things. So I'm sure a big giant 14 pointer comes out. They're going to be shooting it and they're just going to cut it up and put it in their freezer. And, there you go.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that those 3 days, there's going to be more archery buck killed than any other 3-day span throughout. So
history probably.
Yep, they're gonna shoot it and they're gonna stick an arrow in it and they're gonna take pictures and post it all over social media that look what I did.
Yep. So it's frustrating, but regardless, that's what I'm trying to use my time for, is just get him dialed. And I think I've got a pretty good idea. It's just gonna be a matter of, since he's hurt, you guys know he's banged up pretty bad, so he doesn't want to move a whole lot. Like I said, I bumped him today. I was 70 yards from him, watched him get up out of his bed, take a hop, looked at me, and just limped off. So I'm hoping that, I'm going to be tight to his bedding area this weekend. Yeah, this weekend I'm going to be tight to his bedding area. So hopefully this cold front will get him up and just get him moving a little bit. So.
Well, that's good. I know we can definitely use a cold front here in Virginia this youth season. I don't know, Reagan, if you got out at all with anyone youth season for taking anyone out there. No, but it was 85 degrees and full moon. We were battling that. They were up all night. Cameras were going crazy all night long because they were feeding. So
yeah, we definitely need that cold front though. But I know quite a few of the kids in my area had some luck, actually. One of the kids, specifically, I forget how old he is. He hunts very, very close to one of my farms. And if he did not shoot the deer that I was after, I'm not sure if it's the deer's brother or dad. I don't know. But he shot a deer yesterday that looks very, very, very similar to the one I was after. I mean, kudos to him if he did. So I'm keeping an eye on those cameras pretty closely just to make sure. But a lot of kids in my area had some good luck this past weekend.
Yeah.
One
that's
thing
natural hunting. So
one thing that Troy and I found really interesting this weekend was we were hunting together, and he had his saddle on the backside of the tree I was in. He was taking right, I was taking left, and we had a good, I'd say 135, 140, right, Troy? Pretty decent long tines, like borderline. I don't know what to do with this deer. He came in later out of the corn, just appeared out of the corn. He was 20 yards in front of me, and I got the release on. I took a really good look at him, and he just wasn't, the age of deer I wanted to shoot first day, of course. But what we found more interesting than that was he walked by, let him go, and he was only 20 yards from me. Trail cam did not pick a bit of him up. So, we're always talking about, we put these cameras in certain specific positions to catch these deer we're looking for, and we know they're there, and there's probably, I'd say we'll get 2 pictures for every 20 times that deer's probably around, just because you miss them. They're here, they're there, they're just, the game cameras cannot pick up everything, even on an ultra sensitive setting.
Yeah, I've sat there in my stand and had deer in front of me, and the camera's not going off.
Yep.
Like, it's right there. Hello, like blink, do something.
That deer above me was 10 yards from my camera. I don't know how he didn't get picked up that morning. Hey, Reagan, I got a question for you. I know that your dad showed me like 3 or 4 really good deer. So even if that kid did shoot one of your deer, I'm sure you got another one right behind it, right? And there were a couple of deers probably in the 130s that your dad showed me.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple that I'm really excited to hopefully see. We've been watching them grow all summer. A few I've recognized from last year, and how they've grown is just amazing. But the only thing I'm scared of, it's happened to me years past. We're watching these deer grow up, and I guess we pick out our hit list and all this and that, and we maybe get one good week of hunting in, and then they leave. So it's a little frustrating. That's why I'm super anxious to get to hunting this Saturday, but you just got to stay at it. I mean, but we have quite a few and we also have some new ones showing up that actually showed up a couple days ago that are like, oh, okay, who's this fella? But we have quite a few to choose from, I would say, but they're so tricky. They know, the seasons very well, and I got about a good week to get on them, and then they're gone until November. So
this new farm y'all picked up, has it been hunted previously, or?
I'm actually not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, your dad made it sound like it hadn't been hunted in a while. So
I'm not very familiar with the farm, but I don't think so.
So have you done any other sort of hunting besides whitetail here? Have you gone elk or muley or moose or caribou or anything?
No, none of that cool stuff. Obviously, that's the goal.
Not yet?
I'd love to do that one day.
Man.
But I know.
We gotta set
You and me
something
both.
up then.
you did go bear hunting though, didn't you?
I did. I've gone bear hunting. I tried hog hunting quite a while ago with Red Arrow TV, and we took a big group and hunted with Kip Campbell down in South Carolina hog hunting, and I think only one person got a hog. I mean, it was just a huge like 3,000 acre piece. I mean, we weren't, still fun regardless, but the dream is.
All right. Well, we have Virginia starting this weekend. My shop is crazy busy, and I have try to get out this weekend a little bit, depending on the weather. Cedric, no luck tonight?
No, I had a freaking fiasco. It was just.
That's why you look mad.
Yeah, dude, man, I'm just tired is what it is. Like, so I don't hunt right behind my house kind of for a reason. Like, I'm very picky about shooting a deer back there, because probably like how it is out in Virginia, it's like, okay, it's this way to go down, and then it's this way to go back. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
So I'm just, and it's like 85 degrees, like I'm wearing, thankfully I
see the sweat line on your hat.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. I mean, this merino, it's like a 120, so it's like very, very thin, but I was sweating so bad. I finally get up in the tree. I was texting with Josie, or I was Snapchatting maybe Josie. I get up in the tree, I get my camera arm all set up, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, we went to a wedding yesterday, and I go to put my camera on, and I realize my quick disconnect isn't on the bottom of my camera. So I can't even have it on I'm just like sitting there like,
oh man, it's one of those nights.
Just frustrated. I was just like, oh,
get it, been there.
Dang it. Yeah, it was. So I sat there for a little while and played on my phone and saw a bunch of squirrels, no deer, and got down and came back up.
Sounds about right to me for this time of
Yeah.
year in the heat. Yeah. Well, hey, hopefully it gets better. Ah, you're back.
I'm so sorry. I gotta find out a better way to come hang out with y'all again.
It's all right. Like I said, we're used to it with Cedric, so it's he's got lucky today. We have film of him like running through the house with his computer trying to find service. So you're totally good. Our
It's
guest
true.
following our followers understand completely the struggles of Wi-Fi wherever we are. But I was saying while you got frozen is you definitely got to go elk hunting at some point in your life. It is magical in every way. Gone a bunch of times. I got a nice bull elk in Utah last year. We got a moose this year, Josh and I up in Newfoundland. Yeah, we should set something up. We got some property out in Utah that we can do over the counter with access to about 10,000 acres. So if you ever want to go, let us know. We can set it up and
Oh, green.
we can make it happen. So we'll take Troy out there, get him something.
Heck yeah.
You could be the packer, you and Cedric.
Hey, I'll carry whatever you need me to. That's fine.
Josh will be the videographer. And,
GoPro guy. GoPro
we'll
guy.
have Noel be the caller, and then Reagan will be shooter number 1, and I'll be shooter number 2. How about that?
There you go.
And then we'll switch it up after day 1. We'll mix it up.
That sounds so fun.
I've been telling her dad for 5 years to come down here and shoot some hogs, and he won't bring her. So I don't know.
I can drive myself now. I can come.
Come on.
If he won't do it, I'll come shoot some hogs.
That is one thing we don't have, and I'm proud to say we don't have them. We do have a huge raccoon problem ever since the nobody traps anymore. So the raccoons are abundant out there. But a couple questions before we go, because we're getting towards the end of our line here. So Reagan, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. So what's your favorite junk food?
Well, let's just say I can eat anything. My favorite junk food, though?
Like Snickers, ice cream.
Don't tell me it's a Christmas tree, Little Debbie's.
Little
Little Debbie's.
Little Debbie's.
Christmas tree, Little Debbie's. Jeez, I don't think I've ever had one of those.
I don't know. I really like chocolate chip cookies.
There you go. That's a
Like the
good
chip-
one.
Crunchy
I'm
or
a good-
soft?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Gotta
even
go
better.
soft. Gotta go soft, not crunchy.
Crunchy.
Oh.
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 I knew she was going to do it. I know her too well.
Oh.
Oh, that's great. All right, so we could get
But
our people to. What was that?
I can eat all the junk food, though. I guess I don't know. I like it all. But
There you
the
go.
crunchy Chips Ahoy, so good.
Nice. So, are you a tree stand hunter, saddle hunter? What do you prefer?
Tree stand. I haven't dipped in the saddle hunting. I don't know.
Oh, Noel saying
I
fight
did
words
that
Troy
just.
right
I
now.
did that just
What
for Troy.
say?
You'll love it.
I'm just messing with you, Bubba.
You need a,
Yeah,
what you
hey.
need, Reagan. Reagan, you need a saddle and you need a whisker biscuit. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh no, not the
Here we
Christmas
go.
biscuit. You know, it's funny
Here we
because
go.
Troy sent me a text on social media or something, and he's setting up these stands for when I come to Ohio. And he's like, "Are you good with a tree stand? Because I'm gonna be in the saddle behind you." And I'm like, "That's cool. Just don't try to get my fat butt in the saddle."
Every time I see the picture of Troy in the saddle, I think of that meme of the guy sitting on the high school,
Yeah,
like the middle school swing set, swinging.
Yeah.
I would totally be me. I'd be
Hey.
pushing against the tree, swinging back. I'd crash.
Hey,
Like,
if
I
none's
could
around
never
you,
do
at least
that.
you're having fun, you know?
Have you ever like when you're swinging a swing, the
Oh
place
yeah,
that
twist around.
twist it up and then spin around the other
Yeah,
way?
yeah.
Woo!
There is a way to
Everything-
turn around, but you don't do it that way. No.
Everyone would say, "Why don't you see anything?" You turn around, there's Paul spinning around.
You're supposed to act like a limb, not swing around the whole damn thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, my mind doesn't work like that. So I'm still a child at heart.
I'll say that the tree that Troy has a stand in that we put a stand up in to hang on, it's a sycamore, right? And so it has really broad leaves on it, and the bark matches my bow's camo perfectly. But that tree is probably the best tree I have ever bow hunted in, Troy, because the limbs are perfect to conceal you, but yeah, you have an open field of view, and it's awesome.
I mean, that stuff doesn't just happen by accident, you know?
That's your skill, man. It's all your skill, I'm telling you.
He's been working his tail off, that's for sure.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
hopefully it pays
yeah.
off for everyone involved. It'll be a lot of fun this season. So
I'm
Yeah,
just
send
afraid there's gonna be a 150-inch deer walk in front of me, and you're gonna slip off your feet or something and go.
I'll have that camera on them. You won't even have to wait. You just shoot.
Wait till
I
you
just don't
guys
want to see
see.
you looking like a tetherball. You know what I mean?
Don't worry about me.
Tetherball.
You just shoot the
That's
deer.
awesome.
Wait till you see the plan we have for a hay wagon Troy came up with once the crops come off. It'll be interesting to see if it works, but it might just work out.
They use them here all the time. They
Well,
put
we have
the,
we
they
have
have
a
a hold hay wagon, and they put the hay bale blinds on top of the wagon, and
Yeah.
they just move it around with it. They leave the tractor hooked up to it, so it looks like a farmer just left it, like they always do.
Yeah.
And they'll hunt there, and then they'll move it, and then they'll hunt
Yep.
there, and they'll move it.
Yep. Well, that's kind of what we're going to work with. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. I think because I'll tell you, for moving a set fast with your Polaris, it'll be awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
it'll work. They walk right by all the other farm equipment all the time. So
That's my kind of hunting right there.
Have you guys ever
I'd
seen
even put a
that?
feeder in the bottom of it so it like spits corn out right.
Yeah,
right
there we
well,
go.
10 feet in front.
That's what I was thinking.
Better.
Yeah. So
Chris
speaking of-
Brackett style right there.
Yeah.
Stuff a bag of corn at the bottom of my seat.
Yeah. Have you guys
Oh,
seen I think it's Matt Busbus. Have you seen the video of him with a crossbow standing behind like a scarecrow in a field hunting a buck? He kills
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It's great. It's
Mm.
crazy. It's crazy. Standing behind a scarecrow.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea with the hay bale. For Paul and I, both big boys like that, it's easy for us to jump in and, hey, just
bet.
drive around the next field. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You betcha. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't be a big boy anymore by the time I get up to Josh. Don't worry. I got to compete with Troy in our competition. So.
I'm working on it myself.
I can't even draw that bow back. That's a prime.
Oh,
80-pound
you
bow.
wimp.
I know. I'm telling you what. Like
You
I get
wimp.
that thing back 10 times. 11's a
I set up a 70-pound prime for someone the other day that bought it, and I almost ripped the friggin' limbs off, pulled it back because I thought I was drawing mine. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jesus. But, all right, everyone. Well, I appreciate it, Reagan. We thank you so much. This is an honor. Great story. You're an amazing person and influence to everyone out there. So thanks for joining. Anyone else got any parting words out there? Noel, Cedric?
I think we need to get Reagan
I
and
don't think
Chris
so.
both on here one time. Get her and her dad both on them. I'm sure they got some great stories.
Oh,
they're amazing to talk to.
I wanna-
as well.
I want to do just a storytelling podcast, just like 2 hours of just everyone just shooting the crap about stories. We have some funny ones out there. So
I
Yeah,
quickly
let's-
looked up that video of that you're talking about on YouTube, and I think I figured out, Josh, what we did wrong. Reagan, do you paint your face like that still every single time and then down? Is there a certain pattern you follow, or
yeah, you go.
is there
up
any
and then
rhyme
you
or
go
reason
down.
to it?
It's the deer antlers. It's here and then it's 3. Whoop.
Okay,
That's the old Kip Campbell.
there we
one.
go.
Like
Yep.
this, and then
I
like
know it
this.
now. That's what was wrong the other night.
So you
That's
found
They
the
don't see
original
you and they
video?
scare at the same time.
Yeah, I just searched her name, shoot like first buck, and it pops right up.
Where she looks up at her
She's
dad.
in like a little camo hat with pink on it, and her face is.
That's
She's
the
got
first
a.
one,
You can
Reagan?
you can tell her she's all lit up.
I know,
Dude, I get teary eyed every time I watch that video, and I've been watching it for 10 years.
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't watched it yet, but hopefully there'll be a link on
Mhm.
this
Oh,
video.
there'll be a link. Don't you worry. We also got some good things going on here at the Bowmen. We got, like I said, we got the new YouTube intro video coming out. I'm going to post that up on social media right after this recording here. Editor should have this one live here in a couple days there, Reagan. I'll send you the link and you can review everything and send it out there. Obviously, we are still looking for some more sponsorship through the podcast as well. Obviously, my archery shop and Josh do also promoting his amazing broadheads. But anyone out there that's looking for some media marketing, we can take care of that for you as well. We got some great people coming on in the future here. Nothing better than this. So we appreciate everyone being on. Reagan, thank you again. Tell your
Yeah.
father we need to have him on next time. And hopefully we can do this more often.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Carrying your bow with. So I'm carrying. So I've got Paul's prime, right, and we're tracking that cow moose I shot where my guide was 15 yards behind me and ranged it without telling me he was 15 yards behind me. Anyway, long story. He's not used to archery. He's used to rifle, where that wouldn't matter. And we're tracking this thing at night, and it's in the thickest. I had to turn sideways to get through some of the stuff, and I'm carrying your bow, right, with an arrow in it, and that thing just bouncing around. And you know what I thought of? I thought of Noel. I thought of Noel during that time. 'Cause I was like, I wish he was here. I'd show him this rest right now. It's this drop away. It's just bouncing everywhere. I'm
Uh-huh.
falling.
Well, you
And then
know,
I'm going
when
to
you-
show you the whisker biscuit that I fixed today that had out of tune and a right tear that put the whisker biscuit hole into an oval. And you
Ooh.
couldn't realize why he was shooting wrong. Reagan, you don't shoot a whisker biscuit, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, good. See, you're
Yeah.
officially on the team. I'll send you a
Yeah.
contract tomorrow.
she has an adult bow. An
Oh,
adult arrow,
shots
I should
fired.
say.